Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh Bashim Yahabashai, Bahashim Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word and truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect, Tabernacle of David, to the Akwat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,000, the 1/3, the hopeful elect of Israel. All right, so this lesson, all right, I'm kind of being led in the spirit, so I'm going to go and follow the spirit. Let's start right here at 2 Timothy 4:2. Preach the word, be instant. Okay? Be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Let's read that right here in the English Standard Version. Preach the word. This is what I'm looking for right here. Be ready. Be ready. Okay? Be instant right now. What does it mean, be prepared? Ha! Wait a minute. Be prepared. Okay, so, and there are people that think they are prepared. Okay? They think they are prepared. Let's read this. Preach the word, be prepared, in season and out of season, correct, rebuke, and encourage with great patience and careful instruction. Okay, so, hey, careful instruction. We went into instruction yesterday. Let's get that real quick. All right. Proverbs. See, I always go to the instruction. It's so very important. Okay, you can't hate instruction. Avoid. Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay? Instruction is so very important. So when you go back to Timothy, there's that word. Careful instruction. What is it? Good teaching. Okay? Patient instruction. Patience and instruction. Good teaching. Okay? All right? Rebuke, exhort with all long suffering, not maliciously. Okay? You can be austere, you can be firm, but there's a way to do things. You understand? And you have to there's instruction. This is the instruction. Read some of these words in here. Encourage people with your good teaching, with your great patience and careful. Read these things, okay? And glean, right? Discern. Where's your spiritual discernment? That's what's going to get you through this thing. You still got to be humble, right? Full of humility. The fruits. You still got to be that guy, right? Not a nigga claiming to be in the truth. Anyway, where are we at? Okay, what does this say? Be what? Prepared. So let's ask the preppers. Let's ask the preppers. Be prepared. Be ready. All right. Be ready for anything is the title. Be ready for anything. All right. So let's ask the preppers and see where they're at. Now we know that they're not fighting a spiritual fight. They're fighting a carnal fight. All right, which is fine. Doesn't mean you can't, look into where they're at with it. Right? They don't know the scriptures. They don't know the breakdown. They don't, the spirit is not working with them. But where are they at? Okay. And when you're fighting a war, what do? You need intelligence. You got to see what other people are doing. Potential enemy. When you run into one of these guys, then what? Right? Be at peace with all men. Right? You might need, in the case of leave the world behind, you might need some medicine. Right? Anyway, be prepared. So off of be prepared, be Be the Canadian prepper. No. All right. These guys are carnal again. Uh, so anyway, let's let Nate speak, and I'm gonna let him give his intro because it's a lot of doom and gloom, right? Doom and gloom is what these people are bringing, and they're selling it. They're selling products and all of that, right? You got to be real careful who's selling religion, who's selling what is it called, a car shield or whatever. You know, everybody's selling something, food, dehydrated food. But anyway, right? Nate is selling something, right? You got to be careful out here. A lot of charlatans out. Anyway, let's listen to Nate.
Wow, the global cyber war is ramping up around the world.
Boom, that's that right away. And you got to hear that. When you listen to this guy, Patrick Humphrey, right? He's a prepper, a weirdo. But what he's doing, when he finally gets into the news, he's laying it out. What is the first thing Nate said? He's talking about the cyber wars that are going on after the movie, which is very important. What are the latest cyber warfare that's going on, which is what that movie was about, which could have been a signal, right? That could have been a signal or even a trigger, if you will. If you understand the mind control that's going on and you understand a sleeper cell, there's a trigger involved. Could the movie have been a trigger? All right. Anyway.
Is the World War. Moneris, Canada's largest elect.
I'm going to start this again so we can get his vocabulary. Listen to the words that he's using. First words out of his mouth are cyber warfare. Okay, and you have to understand how that factors into all of this food and what he's doing, right? He's paying attention at some level. So, again, you study your enemy, right? Not that this guy is our enemy, but he ain't in his truth, right? So, anyway, you got to scopeo a guy like this, right? Because people are watching him. You look in the comments and you get a feel for how people are responding and what other people are saying, what the climate is. You got to put the feelers out, Anyway.
Wow, the global cyber war is ramping up around the world, as is the World War. Moneris, Canada's largest electronic payment gateway system, had a nationwide outage on Friday, causing consumer chaos across the entire country.
Now, would you know that if you didn't watch the Canadian Prepper? He said world cyber attacks. And then right after that, he said World War. Okay? And if you watch that movie, that lets you know that the cyber attacks were going to start the next day, which they did, right? The next movie is supposed to be called what? Civil War. So, what are they saying? Are you ready? Be ready. Okay? Wisdom and knowledge. Right? You gotta have your wisdom and knowledge intact. Okay, so I just wanted to vibe on that. Wait, let him talk a little more.
Some cases, people had to abandon their shopping carts, not only in the real world, but online as well, because you.
And let me say this. I went into the Rite Aid yesterday, and I did notice they had a lot of stuff, a lot of aisles blocked off, and they didn't have a whole lot of stuff in there. Okay? Does it have anything to do with the supply chain? I'm quite sure it does. Does it have something to do with the holiday season? It might. But you know how you hear about, oh, and the shelves were empty and da-da-da-da. Hey, the shelves were empty. This was yesterday. And I noticed, I was a little dismayed. It didn't hit me until later. I was like, oh, the shelves were empty. That's what that was. Right? So anyway.
do online banking. You couldn't do e-commerce because Moneris is usually the backbone of it all that facilitates those transactions. You couldn't use your debit card in places. Will people learn to start carrying more cash because they're now getting the sense of how vulnerable the grid is?
Now that's him. That's him in his carnal prepping. Oh, we'll carry cash. That's it. No, ain't gonna be carry cash when they're forcing you into that situation, right? And then those that are, doing their little black market thing on it, they can come after you. They're ready. What about them robot soldiers and all that, right? And they got assets coming up from across the border. So, do you, he's not thinking. He's thinking. He's prepping carnally, okay, and we have to prep spiritually. You just give him a nod. He's showing you some things that you should have in place, but this is not going to save you. All right? As we do preppers.
All of this technology actually is? Probably not. Maybe for a day, but then they're sure to forget as a few weeks go by. But guys, the amount of major cyber attacks in just the past few weeks, and it's not like we're noticing them more. It's not a confirmation bias thing. There just simply is more. And it makes me think that all nations are now starting to unload their arsenals of things. And this is exactly what you would do in the run up. We are now on pace. Right when this political season peaks in 2024, we may well see a leave the world behind situation as a result of some massive cyber attack. Now, if you missed the video we did yesterday with.
Okay, that's good enough right there. All right, if you couldn't hear what he just said, right, and you should have watched that movie, you should know that the movie after the movie he just mentioned, Leave the World Behind, is what they call Civil War. And you should also know that it came out through the brother, I forgot what his name was, but he said that that series on Amazon Prime, it's called Mr. Robot. It's a 4-season series that is the prequel to the movie Leave the World Behind, right? So just to get a little more understanding of what happened before that, supposedly, or the sequence that it looks to me, right, like they're undergoing, considering that the series came out in like 2016. So just a little perspective. Anyway, I wanted to show you this guy, Salakia. Skeletor. Let's listen to Skeletor's opening monologue, okay?
When you have these woke revolutions,
that is not Skeletor. Hold on. Okay, I want you to listen to his vocabulary, the words he's choosing. Okay, here we go. Take it away, Skelly. All right, this is a prepper. Full spectrum survival, 3 hours ago. Take it away.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson.
Slovakia. The devil got me on the run. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
You guys know what time it is. Gloom followed by doom. Seems to be a repetitive cycle that we've entered into since 2020.
That pretty much says it. You know what time it is. Skeletor got a little rhythm. On today's episode of Skeletor Says, say it again, Skeletor. Listen to what he's saying. Okay? And he's right. Here's the thing. He's hitting it on the head. In other words, these preppers, they see. They know what's coming. They see what's coming. But they don't have spiritual eyes. Okay? It's a spiritual war. It's not a carnal war that you can win. You can win the spiritual war, but you ain't winning no carnal war. You're not even ready for the miracles, for the otherworldly things that are going to come into play. You're not ready for that. Okay? Angels, chariots, leviathans. Okay, animals, wild. Niggas ain't ready. You think you got a gun, so you ready? No, no, you're not. You're thinking way low. I got rounds. You stupid. Okay, you stupid. Okay. Anyway.
You guys know what time it is. Gloom, followed by doom. Seems to be a repetitive cycle that we have entered into since 2020. We know that things are getting a lot worse, and we see that global war is looming. This is the defense chief, the chief of defense and intelligence in Ukraine. Global war is looming. So, what are they actually calling for here? This is his subjective assessment. Based on the totality of geography, we see several conflicts that at first glance seem to be regional, except Ukraine. They are all connected by the same countries that are involved in all of these processes.
We could go into it. I'm going to close out. All right. What did he say? You know what this is. Skeletor's trying to rap. You got the mic holding it all wrong. You put your hand over the ball, nigga. You know what this, y'all know what this is.
You guys know what time it is. Gloom, followed by doom.
Let's get gloom and doom. All right. You talk about the Bible, right? Where's doom and gloom in the Bible? Doom and gloom. And the Bible is doom and gloom. Let's find out. This is Ezekiel 2 and 10. Right? Why you ain't got nothing good to say? Hey, they call it the good book, right? Well, let's read from the good book. All right. Ezekiel 2 and 10. Let me read 9 real quick. Salakia. Let's see. Yep, gotta read 9. Ezekiel 2 and 9. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. Okay. And he spread it before me. Salakia. Ezekiel 2 and 10. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein doom and gloom, lamentations and mourning and woe. Let's talk about the Bible, the book, right? A roll of a book. That's talking about the Bible. What's written in the Bible? Jesus loves me. Where's that at? Doom and gloom, okay? Get your ass ready to go through the worst time ever on the face of the earth. Lamentations, mourning, and woe. Woe meaning destruction, including whoa, 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 which is World War III. Okay? So, therefore, how do you get through this? Well, if you are of the elect, you're going to make it. That's the short answer. Anyway, I just wanted to show, hey, be ready, because it's time, according to the prophecies, it's time for lamentations, mourning, and woe. It's Matthew 24 and 21. For then, talk about now, shall be great tribulation. Okay? Babylon, the great tribulation, such as never was since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And if your comprehension level is enough to actually understand that one precept right there, right? If you understood the magnitude of those words, okay, that should be isolated and gone over 25 times and a nigga still won't understand it, that's understood. But this doesn't lessen the significance of this precept. Okay? You can't get a nigga to understand this. It's too much. Right? It's too much for his feeble brain and all that wickedness that's squeezed up in there. Okay? Right? Let's read it in the NIV, Matthew 24 and 21. For then will be great distress. See? Distress. You know, let's take off the D. A nigga understands the word stress. Right? Whether he smoking it or undergoing it. All right? Anyway, for then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world. You understand them words? It's going to be more distress than ever was and gonna ever be again. Right? Those words. And if you fear Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and you read this and you understand it, you can comprehend what is being said, you know the only thing that can deliver you from that anger, from that wrath. Okay? That's why that story about Pharaoh is still famous to this day. All right? You can only imagine, right? Say, for example, a fight that you had 25 years ago. It doesn't, have the same force as when it did then. Well, for that story to last, right, and be what it is today, it had to be he's world famous. It had to be one of them things. And this delivery, right, is going to top that one, as it says. Anyway, we're in a time of great distress, and you want to do all that you can. And it's a spiritual war, right? Don't prep carnally, all right? They're prepping for us. In the spirit, they're doing all of that work for us. The little girl, right? The little girl was able to walk up into somebody's bunker. In the movie I'm talking about, okay? Whoever's bunker that was, they didn't make it. Well, what do you think the Most High is setting up? In the spirit, all right? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close. We'll close it right there. Be ready for anything right now, okay? They got to make a move. It could be any time right now or a few days after what they call their new year or whatever. So just be ready for anything. Let me look at that one more time. That be ready. Where's that be ready at? Oh, let's see. Of course, you're going to hide it from me. No. That's Friday. Was it Timothy? Yep. Preach the word. Be ready. Be prepared. That's what that prepping is about, but you got to spiritually prep. Be ready for anything, in season and out of season. That's what, be ready talk about rebuke and exhort. Well, I'm exhorting right now, am I not? I'm exhorting you to what? To be ready. Is that something wrong with that? It says, exhort with complete patience and teaching. What am I teaching right now? To be ready, to be prepared, be a prepper, but a spiritual prepper. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. How do you do that? You repent, right? And be converted and have your sins blotted out. You learn the names and you do what you understand is right. You get with this one doctrine, right? GMS doctrine, You get in there and do what the instructions are instructing you to do, right? Careful instruction. Okay? Good teaching. That's the elder apostles of GMS. Is good teaching. Careful instruction. Patient, complete patience and teaching. All right? What are we teaching right now? Hey, be ready. Where is it? Be ready. Be prepared. Be a prepper, a spiritual prepper. Know the names of the most. You got to get that. You got to put on as the elect of Israel right now. Right? Dot your I's and cross your T's or whatever. Pay attention to detail. Pay attention to that careful instruction. So anyway, with that, I'm going to close. We hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and sisters, with that shalom.